Hi, my name is Michelle, and if this is your first time visiting, welcome to Big Valley Living. I am living with stage 4 cancer, colon cancer to be specific, and we got through 9 rounds of FOLFIRI plus Avastin, which is a chemotherapy that is administered through a port in your chest. And at about the halfway mark, it was supposed to be 12 rounds, and after the halfway mark, my doctor wanted to get a reading on how things were looking, and specifically through using a PET scan, where they put dye in your body and then they get a picture of where the cancer is. My cancer is currently active in what's called the omentum, which is a layer around most of your vital organs that protects your vital organs. And when it was identified in January, we decided to get a PET scan. And the PET scan showed too many tiny spots to really count, and it certainly wasn't going to be operable. So I also had like 4 spots, about yay big, size of a quarter, maybe to a half dollar. So it wasn't something that we could remove surgically, which other masses in the past were able to be removed. In fact, at one point I just had a complete hysterectomy to remove I had cancer in my right ovary. That's when it metastasized from my colon to another organ. And so anyway, on May 21st, I went in for my PET scan, and at that time, my blood sugar was a little bit high. I need to preface that with the fact that I have diabetes. I was diagnosed with stage 2 or type 2 diabetes about my second round of chemotherapy. So I've had 5 complete rounds now. And I still have a few left on the FOLFIRI plus Avastin that I was going through until a few weeks ago. So on May 21st, I went in for a PET scan. And the PET scan was clear, but my blood sugar was high. And because they give you something that can sort of look like or show up like diabetic sugars, glucose, the radiologist was not comfortable giving a complete report. And that's understandable. So we talked to my doctor about it, and he said, well, let's get your diabetes under control and go in, and then we'll get another clearer PET scan. A narrative was eventually provided on the May 21st because he was asked to just give his initial impression. So that leads us to about 2.5, 3 weeks after that, I went in and my blood sugar was too high again, and I had been taking my metformin and everything, but part of it can be nerves, and because I was so nervous and I really wanted to get a PET scan, that very likely played into it. So I went in 2 times in a row after May 21st, and it was, my blood sugar was too high both times. And then when they took it and it was just over the threshold, which at this imaging center it's 200, which is high, and I understand that. I went in for a 3rd one after seeing my endocrinologist, and he prescribed a drug for me the night before that brought it down to a level that was similar to the level from my February reading. I had a reading in February before we started treatment. And so the 2 of those were able to be kind of held side by side, and also bringing in that May reading, just, it was done. So they were able to look at it and make sure that it was similar to the June reading. So last Thursday, I saw the endocrinologist, and then Friday morning, I went in and was able to get another PET scan. Those results were released Tuesday of this week. And then I had a telehealth appointment with my oncologist. So this is the update that I have for you right now. I'm feeling good. I haven't had chemo now for over 3.5 weeks. So my body is kind of going back to normal, and I kind of like that because there's less unpredictability about what's going to happen after I eat. So I have a little bit more freedom to get around and not feel so nervous about it. So I appreciate that. But I also, after the May 21st reading, got 2 CEA tests, which is a blood test that shows cancer markers when you have certain cancers, one of them being colorectal cancer, and I had colon cancer. My CEA is usually pretty accurate. If it goes up, I am actively, the cancer is active. So I went in about 2 weeks ago and had a CEA after the May 21st reading, and it was 17.1. I have never seen it that high, and so that had me really nervous. And then my doctor had me go in a week later and make sure that that wasn't some sort of an anomaly, and it wasn't. It had gone up to 18.9. So with all the information that we have put together right now, my doctor did want me, after being off of chemo for a little bit longer, to go in for another CEA. So I did that today, and I don't know what the number is. I won't know until next week sometime. And then it'll be about 2 weeks from today that I actually meet with my oncologist for an appointment where we're going to go over all of the results and what our options are. I don't know at this point if I'm going to finish the FOLFIRI plus Avastin that I had been taking, because all it really did was stabilize the cancer. A few of the bigger masses had shrunk a little bit, which that's really good news. We're happy about that. But the chemotherapy didn't quite do as much as we were hoping that it would do. So I was already going to be taking a week off of chemotherapy to go to a family reunion, and at this point we're there. I mean, I would have been going in this coming Tuesday, but I don't want to have so much chemotherapy in my body and then go and enjoy time with family. So that's what we decided. That was already planned before all of the tests that I've recently had. So really, at the end of the day, I can't do full Fox plus Avastin, which is what I did after I had my hysterectomy, because I got neuropathy in my feet, and that has since gotten a little bit worse, and so that's not an option. That's off the table now. And I'm not sure about the FOLFIRI because it didn't work the way it was supposed to. And I kind of knew, because I was supposed to have lost all my hair. I got thin, but I didn't lose all my hair. And I did kind of make like sort of a joke with my doctor, and I said, either I'm Superwoman or this isn't working. And then a few weeks later, we found out it indeed was not working. So at this point, I am in a holding pattern for about another 2 weeks. And I wanted to come on and thank everybody who has left really sweet comments for me on our channel, and for all of your support. You have no idea how humbling it is to have so many kind words of encouragement. I want to say right now, if you've watched this far into this, I am not going to take any deworming medications meant for animals like horses or pets or anything. So while I appreciate other people's opinions, that is not something I am willing to do. It's not approved for that, and it's just not somewhere I want to go. So we have adjusted our diet a little bit more here in the Big Valley, and my blood sugar is stable now, And so at this point, that's where we are. So if you're going through cancer or anything where you're going through chemotherapy and stuff, I want to tell you that it's tough. We all know if we're going through it, we all know. But again, I do want to thank everybody for your kind comments and your questions, and I hope that I've addressed the questions well enough, as well as I can actually at this point, because I really don't know what all we're going to do. But I didn't want to wait for, a full month before coming and telling you where we are. I have more energy than I did a few weeks ago. I'm still pretty tired, and actually with active cancer, that is one of the things that can happen. So I continue to live a pretty full life right now. I cook every day unless I'm super tired, and then my husband takes over for me. But I like my food, so I don't mind cooking. My dogs and I go out for walks, and I take them to the farmer's market when I can, as long as it's not too hot. And that's pretty much where we are. So I hope that you're all having a good 4th of July weekend. Be safe out there. There's a lot of crazy stuff that goes on when people start partying. So enjoy the holiday, be safe, be kind to one another. And if I don't see you in the next week or so, I will see you in about 2 weeks. I should have at least the information and what my options are by then. And it is currently June 3rd. So hopefully we'll have some encouraging news when we see the doctor, and I will certainly share that with you. So I'll see you later, everybody. Be kind.